The world can seem fast-paced and out of control. At the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute, we go at your learning pace, offering a variety of tuition-free and mentally stimulating classes. Explore several academically rigorous courses that will enrich your body and mind. It's never too late to try something new. Apply on our website or by visiting our Clubhouse 4 office or the Saddleback campus. The Saddleback College Emeritus Institute, your first choice for lifelong learning in South Orange County.
Welcome back. That was Fran that just came in here. She's the one who puts the makeup on us. And she was returning glasses. To our guests, a returning guest, Dr. Bill Reinhardt. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Great to see you again. And through the Emeritus Institute, you teach political science, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, first we got to talk about your background. You were military and educational background and all, am I right?
Yes, I've had a very fortunate life so far, actually. I graduated from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, traveled all around the world for the whole year, second year at school, and went around the world on one ship, and then I went to another ship, was on the SS Constitution that Grace Kelly went over to get married in Monaco.
Really? Wow.
And it's the same ship that Audrey Hepburn went on with Isn't It Romantic, the movie.
Wow.
And so that was quite an experience to spend 3 months all around the Mediterranean, and then another 3 months in Northern Europe, London, Paris, Bremerhaven, Hamburg, Dunkirk, and I got to Paris also, and I was only a 17-year-old kid that.
Wow.
So it's a wonderful entree into the world.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then I also served 4.5 years in the Navy as operations officer and navigator all around the Western Pacific, which is right up my alley as a Kings Point graduate. And then I taught for a couple of years at the State University of New York. Very
good. Now, you have been just recently, not too long, what, about a year with the Emeritus program?
Yes,
How did you get into that? Prior to that, were you teaching at Saddleback or other places?
Actually, I was retired.
You were?
I moved into Laguna Woods, and I was just incredibly pleased with, people think of people retiring and they have a lot of free time on their hands. Well, you move into Laguna Woods, you have no time on your hands.
Yeah.
There's too many things to do. And so I'm writing a book called Brainwashed, The Manipulation of the American Mind.
Interesting.
And it's so current right now. It's very pertinent to what's going on, fake news, that kind of thing,
right.
and critical discourse. And that's my specialty as a research PhD. And one thing led to another, and I saw a possibility of, I think the Emeritus program is an absolutely diamond in the rough here, with being offered to seniors in Orange County, and especially in Laguna Woods. Free tuition. The program is spectacular. It has over 200 classes, 30 disciplines, experienced instructors, free tuition, and it gives the motto of the Emeritus program is to be academically rigorous, mentally stimulating, socially engaging, and that's an important one.
Yeah.
It's in socially, the seniors can engage with other people who have like interest, and health improving. And
yeah, definitely.
And
yes.
As you know, UCI has a wonderful study that's been going on for numerous years
they
here.
Have the mind study, yeah.
The UCI aging study, a 90+, and they wanted to investigate why people are living longer in Laguna Woods in particular. And they found that exercise is really important, nutrition of course is very important, but then also to be mentally stimulated, to keep the brain moving.
Exactly.
And boy, this Emeritus program, that's exactly what it does.
Definitely. Talking about your class, political science, now, what are you focusing on at least this semester? Because political science can just run the gamut of, you can look at, you know, the historical things that have happened, you can look at current, you can even kind of look at the future in a way. So what are you focusing on in this semester?
Well, it's been
Do
interesting.
you just tell them, just turn on the TV, that's all you need?
Yeah, and just listen. Just don't go. No interaction. Just listen and get told what to do. Actually, the title of my course is Current Issues in Government.
Okay.
And every time I mention that to someone that I don't know, they start laughing automatically because of the situation that's going on right now. And it's a topic that obviously everybody is talking about, and it's hard to get an approach that will allow people to give their opinions, but also try to give them options of where they can get information that's not on the broadcast news that the mass media puts out, and with the current topic of fake news in particular. My background is in, I have a different kind of background. I got a master's degree in management from Claremont Graduate School, Graduate University with Peter Drucker, and I'm a management person, a systems person. But the PhD is a philosophy degree, a research degree, and my specialty is critical discourse analysis, where we actually are, by definition, politically oriented. And we challenge people when they make statements, to challenge them to back up what they say and to do what they say.
Right.
And so it's right up the alley of political science, and that's what I I try to give in my classes, other alternatives. I like to kid the life turn long as I'm a political agnostic, and so I'll go both sides. If I see something that I think could be changed, I'll say that.
Right.
It makes no difference which party or anything else I'm in, and they seem to enjoy it.
Now, when you talk about, you said the current issues and such, are you talking about actual policy issues or the issue between the parties just not getting along and becoming more and more combative, or does it cover all of that?
Well, one of the problems is the class is only 16 weeks long.
Yeah.
And there are so many issues.
Yeah.
I took a survey of just the beginning of the class, and I think it came up with 172 different issues that people wanted to talk about. And every single one of them, basically, I could take a year and have a course in that just alone.
Right.
And so it's a fine line between covering it with substance, giving new ideas and new alternatives, new possibilities, and do it in a short, an hour and 50-minute class.
Right.
And so it's not easy, but I hope to create some excitement with the students that will motivate them to look deeper into the issues and even give them some tricks and techniques that they can do it. And that's something that always doesn't happen, and you don't get it on the mass media news that you receive at 6 o'clock at night.
Right, exactly. You know, I've heard, I don't know if you agree with this or not, that sometimes to kind of figure out what's going on here is to watch the BBC. And I've heard that watching their news broadcasts, you get more of, for lack of a better term, truthful news, or NPR for that matter.
Well, it's been mentioned many times that people have come to the same conclusion that I keep wanting to do this, and I should have done it a long time ago, but I keep taping some of the shows that I watch, the newscast, for example, and I want to time the people to see actually how much news is actually given in a 6 o'clock news. Most of the time it's ads for prescription drugs, or it's news, it's weather, or forest fires, or a police chase. And you really, if you want to get more rounded news, you will have to go to an NPR or a BBC.
Right.
But even there, they at least cover the world. And with the budgets that have been reduced, as you know, there's only 6 corporations that own 90% of the news outlets in the United States. And so you get a very narrow version of what's news. And it even becomes entertainment rather than news. And it's not really informative. And with the situation, the very important things that are going on in the political sphere, you have to get them somewhere if you want to see what's going on. The democracy is supposed to be based on informed citizens, but if you don't really have the facts, how can you really know what's going on?
Right, and you know, you bring up a good point, because I think we've all heard over the last couple of years, you know, the budgets have been cut, whether it's NBC or ABC or CNN. And one of the things you kind of notice, certainly through this last year, whether it's any of those channels, but mainly the 24-hour news channels, is every hour they just repeat the same thing over and over again. It might just have a different cast of characters or talking heads that are talking about it, but they kind of stick to the same subject throughout the evening, and you're not really gaining anything from it, and they're just trying to fill their 24-hour cycle.
Just enough to have the commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's really interesting. A lot of studies have come out where the sources of news today are so narrow now. The government puts out a lot of the press releases, for example, and what happens is the news outlets pick them up.
Right.
And it's sad commentary, but I have video that I have where you can see where a certain news release is put out by the government, for example, and then all the different shows, they repeat verbatim the exact same thing.
Yes, they do.
And it's like literally talking heads, it's the same thing. And you don't get any real information. And I like to use an analogy in my classes of an iceberg. And an iceberg is 1/8 of it above the surface and 7/8 below the surface.
Right, yeah.
And you really don't get the information, even by design, most of the time, you don't get the necessary information to be able to make an informed, intelligent decision.
That's true.
And it's endemic, it's all over, it's in every situation.
Yeah, it's too bad. Now, you're right in the middle of the spring semester here. You're teaching summer?
Yes.
Okay, and I believe, well, we get to about April, I think they can start to sign up for those classes, am I right?
April, yes.
Yeah. So you can see this is a very interesting gentleman, and I imagine your classes are just a lot of interaction in them, right?
Well, like the kid, it's very dangerous because as soon as I say anything that sounds like an opinion, half the people disagree with me.
Right, especially now.
And 2 opinions, you're done.
Yeah, that's true. Good to see you, Doctor, as always.
Pleasure.
And folks, if you are interested in Dr. Reinhardt's political science class or any of the classes taught by Emeritus, you can go online at saddleback.edu/emeritus, get information there. And remember, in April, I don't know the exact dates yet, but that's when the sign-ups start for summer. So keep a lookout for that. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
All right, we'll be right back.